So I'm gonna start this again. And bam. Alright. Let's start this again. So yeah, trending. Like when I first saw this, I thought it was COVD, the long lines for voting. Like they purposely put the machines down just so they can say there's a spike in cases because of protests and voting, long lines, no social distancing. But let's see what happens when I click on that video.
Officials in Georgia called for investigations into hours-long wait times.
Go ahead. So yeah, this was my first thought when I saw the video was COVID-19. Then I clicked it and it had an ad for COVID-19. So, of course, magically the machines are broken, long lines, another excuse to say there's a spike in numbers, another excuse to push contact tracing. This video. This is Trump. Let's get to it. Trump tweets, and yeah, the government funds Bloomberg. The government funds Bloomberg. Trump tweets conspiracy. It wasn't a conspiracy. I barely call this a conspiracy. That protester shoved by Buffalo was an Antifa member. Let's look at this. Yeah.
Fell harder than he was pushed.
And like Kumo, that little Jew was funny. That little Jew was funny in this. Let's do it again. And without evidence, Trump can allege whatever he wants. He has free speech like everybody else. A free mind to think whatever he wants to think. I'm surprised the old man started bleeding that fast. Buffalo protesters shoved by police could be Antifa provocateur. 75-year-old Martin Gugino was pushed, sound Italian, away after appearing to scan police communications in order to black out the equipment. I watched. He fell harder than he was pushed. He was pushed soft. Was aiming scanner. Could be a setup. No, Trump is a joke. He's joking. Let's continue this anyway.
Fell harder than he was pushed. What do you think it was?
Now Kumo's gonna say something to mock propaganda as not real or fantasy. Like the majority who can read know propaganda is real. But he and Trump sits up here and tries to mock it as a joke when them themselves know it's real. What do you think? It was staged? You think the blood coming out of his head was staged? Who knows, Mr. Kumo? There's such things as blood packs. Mr. Kumo, who knows? I haven't. The reason I didn't look at that video when it first came out, I still haven't looked at it. 'Cause it just seems so freaking staged. and fishy. You got protesters getting pushed here, getting pushed there, all over the states.
You saw his head hit the pavement. You see blood on the pavement. Maybe he fell harder than he was pushed. How reckless, how irresponsible, how mean, how crude.
That sounds just like how Como is. Reckless, irresponsible, crude. That's all of them. They all are like that. They all are reckless, irresponsible, crude. Just children of the devil. Believe it or not, they're all children of the devil. Let's continue. Let's go look at some comments. Let's look at the dumbed down masses. Let's look at the dumb people with IQs of 5. That's an IQ of 5. Kumo did a good job acting though. That's dumb. Dumb down of individual. 5 IQ. IQ of 5. 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 This old man is scheme IQ of 5. I like that one. That's the second person to say he needs an Oscar. I haven't seen the whole video. I don't know if it's staged or this 100% computer made. We can use computers to make real life images and real life videos. So I can take video of New York, put it in the computer, and make real life situations. So, name a store in New York. Or just get me video of a store in New York. I can put it in the computer. I can generate fake humans that don't exist, and I can make a fake situation look real. That's what technology is. That's what technology does. We can recreate real life situations. But they will have never happened. That's what we can do with technology. Allow parents to scan police communications in order. Move on. That was silly. I want to hear him talk one more time.
You saw his head hit the staged? You think the blood coming out of his head was staged? Is that what you're saying? You saw his head hit the pavement. You see blood on the pavement. Maybe he fell harder than he was pushed. How reckless, how irresponsible, how mean, how crude.
You can still see through Kumo acting. He may seem, you can see through his acting still. You can see through his acting. You know he's acting. Come on. Kumo don't give a crap. Kumo is another puppet right below Trump. Now, what did Twitter say anything about this? Trump tweeted. Yeah, he can tweet that. Hopefully that executive order he signed against social media does something for free speech. And it's not just a piece of paper doing nothing. Because people would love to sue YouTube and Twitter and just win and make these social media companies go bankrupt. I would love to see these companies just go bankrupt and don't exist anymore. I would love to. They operate on American soil, but they don't want to follow the American Constitution. But when the president writes an executive order that they don't like, they cry constitutional against the Constitution. That's what Twitter, YouTube is crying. They're crying the executive order is against their constitutional First Amendment right. But YouTube and Twitter policies are against the are against your constitutional rights. The irony. It's like a wolf crying wolf. New regulations. Okay.
Protesters we've seen marching through Metro Detroit's streets are all demanding.
Okay, new regulations don't stop racism. It doesn't stop a person from being racist. They'll just find another way to enforce violent ways. They say, well, you can't put people in chokehold. Well, racist people will find another way to act violent and ignorant towards the race they want to be violent and ignorant towards. So reform and regulations doesn't solve the root of the problem. And they never look at the root of the problem to solve it. They just push little agendas. Like police reform and regulations. Oh, that's going to solve the problem of racism and prejudice and hate. No. Just going to have more of this freaking repeat of civil rights. Civil rights. Every freaking year is civil rights. It's marches. Every year. Repeat of history every year. Don't worry. Soon as the reform passes, there's going to be some other black getting messed up. And they're going to march. And we're going to talk about more reform. Yeah. Okay. And people do say the way to change policing is to get good guys in there that aren't racist. You know, if you're good, go apply to be a police officer. Stuff like that. But how do you make good humans? Well, in this fallen nation, that's very hard to do. It's very hard to make non-racist people in this country, in Europe, or in any country. Let's just say we are all one country, because we really are. One world under God. So it's really hard on this earth to make non-racist people. Because like Malcolm X famously said, you're born into racism. You can see that. You're born into it. They continue to promote it, produce it. So hey. There's just not enough people. To build a complete police force without racism. It's not enough people. What's that tale? No, the true story of Noah. God, was it Noah? Or was it Sodom and Gomorrah? I believe it was Noah. Sodom and Gomorrah. If you can find this many good people, I will spare the city. I will spare your city if you can find these many good people. Well, in the Bible, either Noah Couldn't find those many good people. And it was not spared. The city was not spared. I believe that was Sodom and Gomorrah. Was it Sodom and Gomorrah? I would have not spared Sodom and Gomorrah. I would have destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. We can go look at that story, though, in the Bible. I get it confused, but we can go look at it. I got thrown off. I went right into the Bible. Yeah, you cannot find enough good